I owe you, man. You saved my ass. Anything you need, I'm there for you.
Terry Silver has now been confirmed to appear in Cobra Kai Season 4. I'm Ken Cole, and this is the second in a two-part look into the character of Terry Silver in the Cobra Kai series. Definitely check out Part 1 and my previous videos on Terry Silver, which I'll link here and in the description. Today, we're going to look deeper into the information we learned from Part 1, how it relates to the Terry Silver we already know, and what it might mean for the character now that Thomas Ian Griffith will be back to play Terry in Cobra Kai Season 4. So please subscribe and like, and as always, I look forward to hearing from you in the comments. And like Part 1, there will be spoilers for all 3 seasons of Cobra Kai, so definitely watch the whole series on Netflix first if you want to avoid spoilers. In the first part, we went chronologically through the events shown in Cobra Kai about Terry's life all the way up until the present. So what do those events tell us? First, notice that the Vietnam sequences take place in 1968 and 1969, before Kreese won the US Army Karate Championships from 1970 through 1972. That's a pretty high achievement for Kreese over multiple years. So the Season 3 flashbacks take place before the glory days of Kreese and Terry's Cobra Kai. And there's probably a lot we still don't know about how Cobra Kai started. The Vietnam sequences show us that Terry wasn't always confident, cocky, and in control, as he appears in 1985 in Karate Kid 3. Actually, they show he was once the opposite. He was teased a bit for being scrawny, and he didn't like being called Twig.
You can call me that?
Yeah, maybe get a little muscle on the street branches and we'll talk.
And looked up to Kreese in the Ponytail character. In fact, Ponytail seems to have some of the traits of the 1985 Terry Silver, including, of course, the ponytail, the cocky attitude,
Hey, tell her to send one for me, would you?
and calling his friend
Johnny.
Hey, Johnny.
Young Terry's lack of confidence is also evident during the special mission. Terry seems nervous when his radio isn't working.
Please work.
And when it makes noise, he curses out loud, which may have helped to blow their cover. Later, when Ponytail is shot, Terry panics and uncontrollably says it's his fault.
It's all my fault, oh God!
Shut your goddamn mouth, Silver.
So we're seeing a pattern where Terry can't keep calm or handle himself in dangerous situations that are out of his control. In my previous video, What Terry Silver Wants, we saw that a big character trait of 1985 Terry Silver is his need for control in every situation. So for younger Terry, who's experiencing these tragic survival situations, these events are even more traumatic because he can't seem to handle being in situations where he doesn't have control. In fact, he completely breaks down emotionally or has a verbal outburst.
It's all my fault, oh God!
The 1985 Terry seemed almost invulnerable, mainly because he had built wealth, status, mastery of martial arts, and personal manipulation tactics that assured him control over almost anyone he encountered. However, these flashbacks in Cobra Kai show that behind it all, Terry has at least one big weakness. If he loses control of a situation, he may start to panic or have an emotional outburst. We actually see this in the 1985 Terry Silver when he loses to Miyagi. After Miyagi mocks him, he has a raging outburst.
You think this is the end of it all, man? I'm gonna open Cobra Kai dojos all over this valley!
And refusing to admit his defeat. Back in those Vietnam survival situations, all involving other people in the same boat, you'll notice that Terry's statements are kinda self-focused. He's either blaming himself,
It's my fault, Johnny. Jesus Christ, they're gonna kill us all.
I had to do it.
or worried about himself,
How deep is that pit, man?
as opposed to Kreese, who's thinking about the whole situation and his fellow soldiers.
Get there, come on, you're the ranking officer.
This matches what we know of 1985 Terry, where he's mainly thinking about and in love with himself. In my previous videos, we've seen that in the 1985 Terry-Kreese friendship, Terry has everything together in life and has the upper hand. In these late 60s Vietnam flashbacks, we see the dynamic between Terry and Kreese has reversed from 1985. There are even scenes that mirror each other. In 1985, a calm Terry tells Kreese to get it together.
It's been 9 months since I've had a student walk through my doors.
Hey, you're not listening to me. Come on, snap out of it.
In 1969 Vietnam, A calm Kreese tells Terry to get it together.
Hey, get your shit together, all right? Look at me.
I think this John Kreese-Terry Silver dynamic could be one of the most interesting things to watch going forward, especially considering Terry's need for control. In the Vietnam flashbacks, we appear to see a turning point in Terry's character from timid and nervous to more confident about what he wants. After air support arrives and the danger to Terry has passed, Terry hugs a broken Kreese who fought a death match in his place. A very similar hug to 1985 Terry. Terry speaks to him very confidently, saying,
I owe you, man. You saved my ass. Anything you need, I'm there for you.
Notice that he's insistent to the point that Kreese doesn't have any choice in the matter.
Your whole life. You hear me, Johnny? Your whole life.
Very unlike his Twig persona. And it's here that we see glimmers of the 1985 Terry Silver, very determined about what he wants. Then we jump ahead to 2018, where we learn about the fallout from Terry's handiwork with Daniel and Miyagi in the 1985 tournament. It's interesting that the 1985 committee actually gave a lifetime ban to Cobra Kai, considering Terry Silver had just purchased and donated the permanent home of the All Valley Championships.
I would like to thank a new patron of ours for the purchase and donation of the permanent home of the All Valley Championships. Ladies and gentlemen, the president of Dynatox Industries, Mr. Terry Silver.
Maybe after losing to Daniel and Miyagi, Terry withdrew his donation in disgust and abandoned the All Valley organization, possibly never knowing or even caring that Cobra Kai was banned. It's also interesting that after all the hype about a chain of Cobra Kai dojos for Kreese,
Together, we are about to open a chain of Cobra Kai dojos.
Terry seemingly gave up on that and just offered Kreese a job that he turned down.
One of my war buddies, he offered me a job. But I felt like it was a handout.
That is, assuming Kreese was telling Johnny the whole truth.
Some of his stories don't add up.
And that Terry successfully evaded the grand jury.
The grand jury, what do you intend to do about them?
Which, by the way, the bribable district attorney on the 1985 case was Willie Cole.
Who's the DA on the case?
Mr. Cole.
Oh, good. Let's invite Willie to dinner Tuesday night.
No relation to me, but possibly related to Tom Cole, who is Daniel's car dealership rival. If Tom Cole is related to the corrupt Willie Cole, that means Terry Silver might be in a position to directly hurt Daniel's dealership business, which raises some interesting questions about the events involving Doyona and Tom Cole almost putting Daniel out of business in season 3.
Christmas came early, Danny boy.
Does something seem familiar?
Now the real pain begins, Danny boy.
As for Daniel, he's focused a lot in this series on John Kreese being the ultimate Cobra Kai bad guy.
You don't know the history here. John Kreese and Cobra Kai were the embodiment of everything this tournament stands against. And this guy...
But he hasn't said much at all about Terry Silver.
What did I do? I joined Cobra Kai. I learned to strike first.
This is odd, because even though Kreese occasionally threatened Daniel and had a shattering run-in with Miyagi, Kreese really didn't have much direct interaction with Daniel. On the other hand, Terry Silver had a sustained, twisted personal relationship with Daniel. Terry cultivated a fake friendship, played warped mind games on Daniel,
Technique and killer instinct. You got it all now, kid.
got him to betray Mr. Miyagi,
Just don't give me a hard time about it, all right? Okay, you got it?
and he physically tortured Daniel through the guise of the Quicksilver method. If any one person in Cobra Kai could have permanently traumatized Daniel, it was Terry Silver.
Yo, I'm afraid! I'm afraid of him, all right?
As we learned from Sam,
You never told me about any of this.
It's not something I'm proud of, Sam.
it's something that he's even kept hidden from his own kids. It'll be interesting to see how the adult Daniel reacts to seeing Terry Silver again for the first time. What else do we know? Well, after watching the first 3 seasons of Cobra Kai, we can now conclusively say that Terry Silver is the father of not just Tori and Miguel, but he's the father of every single character on the show without exception. Just kidding. I have no clue if Terry's the father of anyone on this show. The closest thing I've seen about that within the show is when Carmen tells Johnny about her ex-husband in season 1.
Around a lot. Where are you guys from originally?
Ecuador.
Oh, why'd you leave?
I got married at 18. After I became pregnant with Miguel, I learned the truth about my husband's job. Let's just say he was a very bad man. I had to get far away from him.
Could Carmen's ex-husband and Miguel's father actually be Terry Silver? Given Terry's tendency to target developing countries for toxic waste disposal,
What do you mean you can't dump it in Borneo?
and maybe needing to run from the feds, could Terry have married 18-year-old Carmen while living in Ecuador and fathered Miguel? Could the horrible truth about her ex-husband's job be that he was destroying the environment?
I learned the truth about my husband's job. Let's just say he was a very bad man.
I'm honestly not sure about this one. I think it's a wait and see kind of thing. The last thing we learn is when Kreese looks at the photo of him, Ponytail, and Terry. He picks up the phone and calls probably Terry and says,
"Long time."
So apparently it's been a while since Kreese and Terry talked, and they still seem to be on good terms. And it looks like Kreese wants to enlist Terry's help to defeat Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang. But even if they haven't spoken in a while, has Terry already been aware of Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do's resurgence in the valley? The hardest part will be waiting for season 4 to find out what happens. But in the meantime, I'd love to hear from you in the comments, and please like and subscribe. What are your thoughts? What do you think about Terry Silver? Are you looking forward to him coming back? Let me know. See you next time.